Ready for a roller coaster straight from hope to heartbreak? You're watching Distracted Sports. Wake up early on a Saturday morning to the sound of that like button and take a ride with me to another All Black defeat. I wonder why I watch sport. The anxiety, fear, and the massive highs and lows I often feel just can't be good for a person. But I just can't help it. I'm a sports addict, and namely I'm addicted to rugby union. And the bigger the event, the greater the level of anxiety. And this is the biggest event of all. It's the Rugby World Cup, and this is France versus All Blacks, maybe the most blockbuster, most anticipated opener to any World Cup ever. The host, the favourites, maybe the most dangerous, most enigmatic team in the world. The French versus the greatest team of all time, my team, the bloomin' All Blacks. The storied history between these two epic rivals, two cultures that are so different but are united by their love of this weird game with this weird ball. Two teams that have delivered each other so much heartbreak and pain, and two teams that have had their greatest victories in World Cups against each other. Now, before kickoff, we lost our captain and leader Sam Cane to back spasms. We reshuffled our pack and brought in the injured Retallick to the bench. At this point, my sphincter was so tense it could have cut diamonds. The fact that the All Blacks were coming off a record loss, that was niggling away at us All Black fans. It was at this stage I was losing all perspective of the importance of this game. It may be simply a pool game that one could argue is relatively meaningless, as both sides are both highly likely of exiting the pool. But this morning for the public of New Zealand, it meant everything. It was our chance to reclaim our fear, our dominance, our aura, and put the world on notice that the All Blacks are here. And if you're unlucky enough to have to face them at this World Cup, you better play out of your skins or else you're going to be in for a shit time. Just to make my life easier and a little less drenched in anxiety, I repeatedly tried to remind myself that this wasn't a knockout. I reminded myself how little the victory we got over South Africa in the pool stages in the last tournament meant now in the scheme of things. But whatever I told myself, my heart would not listen. As a fan, I was dying for the boys in black to win. As the boys came out and sang the national anthem sung by a group of children, the teams were already drenched in sweat, indicating how insanely hot it is in France at the moment. Aaron Smith had a weapon in the haka, and the French crowd were pretty respectful, to be honest. And then it was done. All the talk, all the speculating was over, and the only thing to do was to watch them play. I fucking love this shit. Holy balls, after a bit of an awkward line-out, Record cut them open, and then after an infringement, Bodie weighed up the options perfectly, found space for Talia, and we bloody well scored a try right off the bat. I clapped my hands together so hard in joy that they stung for the rest of the game. Mo'unga missed the first of many missed kicks. I got into trouble for waking up my girlfriend who doesn't give a shit about rugby. After the reset, we exited as well as a tank exits a parking garage, and we gave some easy points to the French. Discipline would be key in this game, and we had the discipline of a 2-year-old in front of an open jar of lollies. Momentum was gone as the French got their first points. The game was a bit frantic for long periods in the first half. Mo'unga and Jelly Bear both missing touch, both sides making errors. It was tense stuff all round. The All Blacks were willing to play in their own half and couldn't find space. The French got a scrum after a period of possession, and I Am de Groot gave away a penalty and Ramos gave the French the lead. We had another couple of incredible opportunities to score in the half, but elected to take a 3, and Taylor took a dumb option down the short side on the blower, and we frittered away our last chance. At halftime, I wasn't feeling terrible about it. It was 9 points to 8, but I felt like we had the better of the half. We looked more threatening in my eyes. We had the momentum and looked good with ball in hand, but due to missed kicks, discipline, and poor decision making at crucial times, we weren't able to turn pay into points. Surely we'd sort that out at halftime. I had the feeling we could do it from here. Yeah, my hunches are always on point. My heart rate refused to come down over halftime, and I'd tell anyone who listened that I felt like I needed a colonic. The half started and immediately the French looked as though they had us under the pump. But thankfully, due to a penalty and an incredible chip kick by Servet proving that he's a much better chipper than he is a dummier, the boys in black put on a cracker of a try from a pass that was backward out of their hands, much to the disgust of the French crowd. Mo'unga missed another conversion. This is really starting to piss me off. Sadly, the try to Talia was really an aberration in the second half. Once again, soon after that, we were under the pump in our own 22. The French were starting to look more threatening with ball in hand, and the All Blacks still could not get out of their half. Poor kicking, ill discipline, poor option taking, and trying to attack from inside our own 22 just made our lives very difficult. There was an amazing chance to Penau, who you back every day of the week and twice on Sundays to score, but Mwanga pulled off a screamer of a tackle to prevent him from scoring. The Blacks were showing great desire, but no brains. The changes in the pack were made, and that swung the game even further towards the French. More errors from the All Blacks, and France worked the defence beautifully, and Penau gets the try he just missed out on. They of course get the conversion. And then it goes from bad to worse. Jordan gets his timing wrong. It could be a red, but it's a yellow. Shit. Thankfully, it stayed yellow. Anyway, all the momentum is now with France. The game goes from one that I'm feeling that we're very much in to one that we have to pull out of our asses to win. I'm feeling sick as I start to realise we're probably not going to win this game. The rest of the half was littered by drop ball, and sorry to harp on about it, but just really bad discipline by the All Blacks. Will Jordan came back on. Will Jordan then took another man in the air and gave away another penalty. We showed a real lack of patience. We were often just trying to look for the miracle play. Really low percentage plays, especially against an opposition the quality of France. This lack of patience led to the final dagger, the try to Melvin Jaminet. Now, this stings. A rough loss to France in the opener by a comprehensive 13-29. It's a new reality All Black fans have to accept. For so many years, we just won game after game after game. And for us Kiwis, that's what the All Blacks are supposed to do. But this is the new reality. We are not the top of the mountain. We are not feared. And yes, the aura has gone. Ill discipline, poor decision making, and lack of patience are now the new hallmarks of this team. You'd like to think that's fixable. But in that second half, we saw no signs of improvement from the game against the South Africans only a couple of weeks ago. We back our skills and our attack at times when we should learn to play percentages and give opponents some respect. We play dumb rugby, and a dumb rugby team is not going to win the World Cup. For my money, the French were good today, but still not at their best, which is a bit scary. The French crowd played their part, and it was a great start to the World Cup and a great occasion. The French, they were smarter. They played in our half and made us pay for our mistakes, and they were deserved victories. It was a great occasion, as I said, but boy, it sucks losing. It still stings as much as it ever has as an All Black fan, but we really should be getting used to it by now. But this is not the end for our boys in black. There is still some immense quality in this team, and as long as we don't completely shit the bed against Italy, we'll be in the knockouts, and we'll still have an opportunity to give it a red hot crack. We need to improve, and I just don't see this side winning the World Cup. But they have my undying support, and I have been wrong many, many times. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can even follow me on Twitter if you like, @Tones88. Watch the podcast 2 Cents Gets Distracted later in the week. I'm sure there'll be a lot for me and Mark to talk about. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Call your mum. Ha-de-da. Mwah. Ah.